Greetings from BBMacs.
And welcome to our show.
And today we have a very special guest, Raleigh Ormerod. He's a radio talk show host down in Keene, New Hampshire, and he came up to be with us today to talk about things.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today and looking forward to this episode.
Yes. And BBMacs, we actually met in October of 1985 at work, of all places.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, I at that time I was making jewelry, ornamental jewelry out of seashells or things you find on the shore at the beach. And I had been walking around work trying to sell them, and that was one of the places I went to where Brenda was working. And the person that I was going to see there wasn't there, but Brenda was there. And I said, wow, okay, cool. I'll try to sell them to her. And that's how we met.
Well, you said that that's the luckiest day of your life.
Yes. Oh, yes, no doubt. Right?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, just one of those. It is the luckiest day of our lives. We're a team. We are. We work well together. It's very.
That's how it should be. A marriage should be a partnership.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And we've grown together over the years. It was 1985 when we met.
Yeah, when we actually met.
Yeah.
And you still celebrate that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we do. Well, we have a unique way of celebrating our anniversary in a sense. Whenever either one of it's September 26th, 1986, less than a year after we met. Anyway, if that we notice that the time is 9:26, what do we do?
We say happy anniversary
For
because
September 26th.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
because it has those same numbers.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful that your relationship has grown, and I'm going to be asking you some more questions about how you came to the Braver Angels for that. But it all starts with love,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it does.
It does. And, you know, I think I'm so thankful that we have this technology that we can share important things and important messages and how to get along with each other better.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And it's a good thing.
We're so blessed. I mean, we've got cars to drive. We've got water that works. You know, all we have to do is turn a faucet and it comes out of the ground. And so many of these things that people have worked so hard to build, the engineers and the planners, we take for granted.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, all this stuff we take for granted. And, you know, there's some things in relationships, I guess, right, that we take for granted as well. And we have to work at it, right?
Yes, indeed.
And we say thank you to each other when we do stuff, like we do a chore, and we say thank you for doing that. And we say, you know, thank you for thinking of me. And he buys flowers for me, sometimes just because.
Well,
Sometimes there isn't even an occasion, he just buys them.
And I send them to her work.
oh.
I get more mileage out of that.
Well, and so we've benefited from the gifts we give each other,
Yep.
from, you know, the things that as human beings we've built for each other and the systems that we've built for each other, and also for, you know, the government, right? The blessings of liberty. We are so lucky to be in a place, in a country, in a society that values liberty. Don't you think?
Oh,
That
yes.
is very
Yes.
important. Yes.
I mean, and so not all places in the world have that.
Unfortunately.
As well too. So
Yes. Yeah.
So what for you? What is the icon, or is there something that really reminds you of liberty?
Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was.
And France gave that because they were impressed at how not only we had a democracy, but they abolished slavery, which was so wrong. And they were very happy that we did that. And they were hoping that would spread throughout the planet. They were trying to, that's why it's called Liberty Enlightening the World. Because they were trying to have everybody have that. They wanted it. But then the people that fought for it ended up being selfish and they ruined it. It's
Right,
too
for
bad.
the people of France. They had the French Revolution, and initially that was good, but then the love of money and power and control overcame the people that were running the show then, and they just it went to their heads and
Well, you can't take it for granted.
Nope.
that's
The
correct.
liberty, even our
Yeah.
liberty and our
Oh, yeah.
democracy. So you were telling me before there was a lot of more history
Oh,
to that Statue of Liberty and why it's so important and why other countries want to do it or try to emulate it or try to do what we're doing. So what do you
Yes.
know about that?
There are actually replicas of the Statue of Liberty in several different places in the world. I believe there's one in Paris and there's one in Japan that I recollect exactly. I'm not sure where else, but you also had during the Tiananmen Square situation in China, they had something similar to that. They constructed something similar to that over there.
Like a Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
In
exactly.
defiance.
Yes, in defiance of the, yes. Unfortunately, they got squashed, but that's what people, they see that. They see what we based our country on and what we were able to do. They knew it wasn't perfect. We still have bad things going on and stuff like that.
Humans aren't perfect, so.
Right. But through abolishing slavery was huge. That was huge for the French. And that's what enticed them to give us the Statue of Liberty.
Well,
and yes.
We have that, but is there still opportunity for us to treat each other better
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
in our society?
Yes. And human beings, like you were saying, nobody's perfect.
No,
No,
we all have to work on our faults and try to do better.
Yes. Yep.
Well, and that's really what Braver Angels is about, right?
Yes.
They want
Yep.
peace. I'm not even into politics, but they want peace. And that's what attracted me to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I was really interested in your mission, and there's a lot of people locally here too, right? That are trying to help others,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
there's food kitchens, there's charitable organizations,
Yes.
and
yeah.
that. So who else do you have around here that's doing good things for other people?
The Sunshine, I have to say it correctly, Sunshine Soup Kitchen in Derry is doing an awesome job. They do 40 to 60 meals a day for 4 days a week. They do now, Monday through Thursday. I think starting in September, they're going to be doing it 5 days a week. And it's a free meal for anybody, no questions asked. Anybody can come up and get that. And it's Monday through Friday. They also have other programs where they collect things for people that need clothing and things like deodorants and things like that. They collect that to give out to people as well. The New Hampshire Food Bank does an awesome job collecting food. Beltay's Lumber is collecting all of September, not all of September, all of August at their locations. Also in this area, Benson's Lumber is doing that as part of their collection. I think Beltay set it all up. And a lot of lumber yards in New Hampshire do that, collect things for them.
There's a lot of other organizations that are trying to do good.
Yes.
But they like donations,
yes.
right?
Yes. Any of them, I would say,
There's
would
the
like donations.
Salvation
Yeah,
Army
yeah,
that help
yeah.
out a lot.
Yeah.
And so
The Red Cross.
with the Braver Angels, okay, what your mission is to help people communicate
Yes.
and have difficult conversations and get through them for productivity, right? So tell me
Yes.
more about that. Have I got that right? Am I close?
Yes. Yeah. They want people to be able to disagree civilly. They want people to be able to talk again without beating each other up, without getting angry. They're not trying to get anybody to change their minds about any subject whatsoever. That's not what they're trying to do. They just want people to be able to talk about things. And one of the most important aspects about that is to actually listen to the other person. And one of the best ways they have of having you show that you're listening to them is instead of thinking about what you're going to say to them, listen to them, and then rephrase what they said. If I understand you correctly, you believe that this or you believe that. You don't have to agree, just say a little bit so that they know that you were listening to what they had to say. And then you can put your peace of mind or whatever in there, but just listen to them and show them that you were listening to them.
Well, when I think about things that you're doing well and the things that the food kitchens. I mean, there's a place that'll get free bikes for kids. I mean, there's
Oh,
a lot of
yes,
things
yeah.
around here that they're doing. When they're asking for a donation, okay, and they ask, and you know, say you're with one of these organizations and you're asking for money for someone who you know has the money and can afford it
Yeah.
and isn't doing anything yet, right?
Yeah.
Are there some braver angels techniques for
That's a-
for doing well at that?
That's something I'll have to look into. That's a great idea.
That is.
Yeah.
I've asked for money before.
Yeah.
I did walks for multiple sclerosis, and people like to be asked individually. I said, "Would you like to sponsor me? I'm doing a walk." I said, "Any amount helps."
So the individual is a good way to do it,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
People don't like to ask as a group. If you ask as a group, they just look at
Yeah.
you know. But if you ask, "Hey, would you like to sponsor me? I'm doing a walk for the MS." And any amount helps. It's all good. And I've done pretty well with that. And I've done 10 different walks. And I did the math, and I averaged like $700 per walk, throughout the
Well,
walks.
that's a really good principle, okay?
Yeah.
How about if someone is just being difficult for another reason, right? Could you do the same thing by approaching them
Yeah.
individually,
Yeah.
not embarrassing them in front of
other people.
other people?
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's a really good principle, right?
Yeah. And I think using the Braver Angels techniques is a great idea. I'll have to look into that and say, okay, how can we approach this? Yes, that's awesome. That's really cool.
I know that even the United Way, who is very organized and gathers a lot of money and gives it to charities, because the United Way volunteers, they train them to ask for money, okay? And that's one of the things that they do. In fact,
Yeah.
I think when I got to Keene and I was still in Toastmasters, we did a training for the United Way volunteers to tell them how to ask for money.
Wow.
We make sure you smile.
Oh, yeah.
And you ask
Yeah,
them.
Be cheerful.
And it was amazing because there was 10 of these other volunteers here. And when we started and we said, hey, you're going to be asking people for money, they're like,
Yeah,
so there's a
people
little bit of
get nervous.
apprehension. So there's a situation
Right.
when you have difficult conversations and you're trying to get through, you're trying to put together a program, you're trying to build money. There's basic communications. And
Yes.
I'm wondering what the Braver Angels might be able to help these organizations.
Yes.
You had a really good idea on how to do that, because they can always need more, and it's
Oh, yeah.
hard to ask, okay?
Oh, yes.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea. Fantastic. Thank you very much for
because
that.
somebody disagrees on a subject doesn't mean they have to fight. You
Yeah.
know, just because I like purple and somebody else likes yellow, why do you got to argue about it? Just say, you could say, I like this color because it reminds me of flowers or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can say, I like this color because it reminds me of the sun and brightness and,
Yeah.
Well, you can talk about how you would like something because it reminds you of something. I
Right.
guess you could ask, what does it remind you of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's really very interesting. I also know that you guys want to help tackle the polarization in politics.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Here we go. And you've got people in your organization who have made some headway, right?
Yes.
And there's some principles behind that.
Yeah.
So tell us about what that might look like.
There's one that is done in New Hampshire, the Granite Bridge Legislative Alliance. They're trying to get legislators to be able to talk to each other again. When Doug Teschner, he's leading, he's not really in charge of that. He did that with Patricia Higgins. He was a former Republican representative in the House of the Republican in the New Hampshire State House. And Patricia was a Democratic representative, and they both had retired from that. And they got to talking with Braver Angels, and said, we could do this in the legislature, get them to be able to talk together. When they were serving at that time, there was all kinds of back and forth. There wasn't all the rancor that's going on now. And they saw what had happened, and they said, geez, this is not good. We can't get anything done this way when people are all bashing each other.
Well, what's happening when people are bashing?
Nothing.
Funds-
They can't get anywhere.
Funds are being canceled, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Programs that give food and money to help
Yeah.
children, to help people who don't have a place to live,
Yes. Yeah.
they're drying up because they can't come to agreement. So
Right.
it seems that there's a lot of ways
Oh,
that
yes.
we can support and you can support all the good things that people are trying to do
Right.
and
yes.
make it more effective and get the whole community involved with it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yep.
And we want more people to say, how can I help?
Exactly.
That's how,
Exactly.
yeah,
Instead
it's
of
got to start somewhere. And
Right,
some people
right.
have these automatic negative thoughts. They're like, oh, that's not going to. But, you know, if you say, hey, how can I do something and spread peace and actually get somewhere? There was even a comic strip guy who put it, there was a one rowing like this, and another one rowing like that. And, well, one's rowing this direction, one was that way. Well, guess what? The boat doesn't go anywhere because they're each wanting to row in the opposite direction.
yes. Yeah.
And he's not making any progress because
Wow.
of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well,
a great
that's
cartoon.
sadly familiar.
Yes, yes. And I can't stress that enough, the point that she was making about automatic negative thoughts. When you say, oh, we want to try to do, oh, that'll never happen. Don't think that. When you think that, it's going to happen that way. You have to think positive, empowering thought. What can I do to help the situation? And I believe, and I think you believe this as well, that people need to pay more attention to the golden rule. Actually live by the golden rule. And you ask anybody, do you live by the goal? Oh, of course I do. And they're driving down the road, somebody cuts them off, and they go, give them, you know. And
So the person cutting them off isn't living by the golden rule.
right. But they have done that themselves. I know I've done that before. You're driving down the highway and say, oh, there's my exit, and you cut in front of them. You don't do it on purpose. And you can't stop and jump out of the car and run down the road after the guy and say, sorry about that. That doesn't work. But that's, you know, you can't have the automatic negative thoughts. You got to have positive, empowering thoughts. What can I do to help the situation?
Well, I guess you have to practice and rehearse them
Yes.
so that you
Keep that
so
in your
that
mind.
I have to do that so that I don't automatically go to that place.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why is that person trying to injure me
Yeah. Yeah.
or insult me or whatever it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really, really, truly believe is that people need to consult their conscience more. Far too many people today just kind of push it aside and say, oh, well, yeah, it's all crazy and all this stuff there. I don't really need to pay attention to my conscience, you know. Nobody else is, and it's not that big a deal. It is.
Yeah.
And that is a big part of the problem that we're in today, is people are just pushing their conscience aside and, yeah, no big deal. It is. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal.
It is.
Yes, very important that people consult their conscience, pay attention to it more, and the world will be a better place.
It would.
I like to think of it as how much fun is it with all this bashing and fighting and all, and you got to think, oh, what's somebody else going to do to me now and all this other stuff.
You
When
can't live that way all the time.
No.
Right.
We certainly like excitement in our life,
Right.
but nothing gets done without teamwork.
That's
Right.
true.
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Well, even like I said, when I was hiking Katahdin for the first time, I never would have made it to the summit without somebody helping me reach. I'm too short to reach.
Oh boy.
Those boulders are no joke. And, you know, it's like, Brian helped me the best he could. And God bless him and my friend Kathy, they got through a lot. Okay? And finally they just said, oh my God, I've had enough. And I turned to this kid. He was probably like 29 years old at the time.
You're
and I'm
talking
like,
about Mount Katahdin, right?
Yes.
In
Yes.
Maine,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? 4,300 foot
No,
peak.
it's 5,300.
5,300.
65 feet.
Okay,
something like
that's
that.
right. It's the second highest one.
Yeah.
All right.
In Maine, it's the very highest.
Wow.
The very high Baxter
And it's
Peak,
really rocky at the top, right?
the whole
yeah.
thing is rocky.
Yeah.
It's
Not
all
just
rocks.
the top, okay? No, the whole thing. And there are no easy trails, but my favorite route is to take Chimney Pond to Hamlin Ridge, and it goes up to Hamlin Peak first, and it goes down, and then there's big flat area, shoulder kind of thing. They call it tableland. And you go up to Baxter Peak, and then you can come back down and I come down the saddle trail that comes back down to Chimney Pond, and
Well,
that was
sounds
my
like
favorite
hard
route.
work. You're going to have to show me
It's no
how to
joke.
do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Takes some effort. You got to
Yeah.
build up to it. You can't
Well-
make that your first mountain.
just like your work, you
Yes,
know,
yeah.
it does take effort.
Yes, it
And
does.
people need to know exactly what to do and say. And there's workshops coming up, isn't there?
Oh, yes.
You mentioned there's a
One
workshop where
in-
people can learn exactly what to do. They want to be more effective in these difficult,
Conversations, yes.
tense
Yep.
situations.
Yes. There's one in Peterborough, September 20th, at the Unitarian Universalist Church. September 20th. I think it's from 1 to 5.
Well, they have them,
Something like that.
and you know, there's got to be a place, a website that people
Yes.
can go and find these.
Braverangels.org. Sorry to cut you off there. Braverangels.org.
Okay, thank
yes.
you.
Yep.
Because we want to make sure we get that to them.
Yes.
So people
Yeah.
can find it. Because there's
Yes.
going to be a lot of things coming up, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a fantastic website. There's a lot of information on there. Braverangels.org.
Well, thank you, you know, for inviting me here. Is there anything else that we need to discuss before we wrap up? Or what else is on your mind?
Well, I just want to put in one little thing about climbing the mountains. This works for me. We climbed, what was it, in Maine, where my knees were killing me on the way down.
Oh, yeah, Sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf. And my knees were killing me on the way down. And I happened to read soon after that Ben Franklin, in his younger days, before every portrait you see of him, he's kind of portly. So it must have been before then. But, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, he would carry a printing press up and down the stairs to stay in shape. And I said,
Okay.
wow, interesting. So I said, oh, well, I'm not going to carry a printing press. No.
But we
I
do
carried
have hand weights.
hand weights. So I carried 10 pounds in each hand up and
Oh,
down
my
the
goodness.
stairs. Yes.
Okay.
For,
Is that how you train?
That's how I trained for getting my knees in shape for better, and it's been a huge help, tremendous help. But you've got to have the old warning here first. Consult your doctor before you start anything like that, because it's very
And
important.
start slow. We didn't start with 10 pounds.
Right, right.
You know, I knew it was going to help him with strength, but I wasn't sure about the endurance. But if we did it for a half an hour at a time each day after we built
Yes.
up to it, and yes, it helped him a lot with the
Yeah.
endurance too. So he doesn't get tired after only 2 miles of hiking.
Yeah, it's 3 miles. I get 3 miles in, and then I get tired. But I just wanted to get that in for whatever reason. But the
I'm
braver
glad.
angels is the important thing that we want to walk away with today, is get people to work together. Liberals and conservatives, instead of beating each other up, we need to work together again. We've done it before, we can do it again. And that's what people need to say. Instead of saying, oh, it'll never happen, what can I do? And you can get involved with Braver Angels. There's a lot of organizations out there trying to do this. Pick one that you like. If you think Braver Angels, well, they don't really have what I want, find another one. There's quite a few of them.
There's even one for religion. That's
Yes.
brave.
Yeah, yeah.
That's brave. And I'm like, nice. I said, that's one that needs help too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to call God Allah or Buddha, whatever, you know, that's fine. Just, you know, it's a peaceful religion that's teaching honesty and to be good to each other. Well, it's all good.
Yes, yep. All right, well, thank you very much for being here with us today, Raleigh.
I really enjoyed this conversation with you today.
Yeah.